"We're having Marcus's promotion party instead," my mother-in-law announced, her voice dripping with satisfaction. "You'll need to cancel Emily's birthday celebration. The country club can only host one event, and Marcus's career takes priority." I gripped my phone tighter, glancing at the half-decorated living room where Emily's double-digits birthday banner hung. My daughter had been counting down the days until she turned 10, marking each morning off her calendar with stars and hearts. "Diana, we've had this plan for months," I said, keeping my voice steady despite the anger building in my chest. "Emily's invited her whole class. We've paid deposits." "Oh, Margaret won't remember anyway. She's only turning 10. My sister-in-law Jessica chimed in from the background. "Marcus made junior partner at the law firm. That's a real achievement." "Her name is Emily," I corrected, though I knew it was pointless. They'd been getting my daughter's name wrong for years, a subtle reminder that she wasn't really part of their perfect family picture. "My name is Olivia Chen, and at 35, I'd spent the last 12 years trying to make my daughter feel included in a family that saw her as an afterthought. I married James Anderson believing love would be enough to bridge any family differences." Now, watching Emily carefully arrange her party favors, little science kits she'd helped me put together, I wondered how I'd been so naive. "James agrees with us," Diana continued, her tone making it clear this wasn't up for discussion. "The family needs to present a united front for Marcus's colleagues. You understand, don't you?" Of course James agreed. My husband had never been able to stand up to his family, always choosing the path of least resistance. "Actually, I don't understand," I replied. "And I'm not canceling Emily's party." "Don't be difficult, Olivia. The country club's already changed the reservation. We used your deposit toward Marcus's party. It's done." I felt a cold calm settle over me as the pieces clicked into place. They hadn't just decided this. They'd planned it, deliberately waiting until the last minute to tell me. What they didn't know was that I'd been doing some planning of my own. "How did you change the reservation?" I asked, though I already knew the answer. "The contract's in my name." Diana's pause was barely noticeable. "James gave me the information. I am his mother, after all." I watched Emily laying out her party dress, the one she'd chosen specially because it matched the lab coat she wore at her science club. My brilliant, beautiful daughter deserved so much better than being pushed aside for the golden child's latest accomplishment. "Well, then there's been a misunderstanding," I said pleasantly, "because I changed venues 3 weeks ago. The country club was just a decoy." "What are you talking about?" Diana's voice lost its smug edge. "Check your email. You should have received confirmation that Marcus's party has been canceled. The country club has strict policies about unauthorized reservation changes. They've blacklisted the Anderson family name for fraudulent booking practices. You can't do that." Jessica screeched in the background. "I already did." "Oh, and Diana? I checked the guest list for Emily's party. You might recognize some names, including several partners from Marcus's law firm. Turns out they're very interested in meeting the 10-year-old who won the state science fair with her project on corporate environmental responsibility." The silence on the other end was deafening. I continued, enjoying the moment. "Emily's party is at the Natural Science Museum. They were thrilled to host it, especially after hearing about her project. The local paper is sending a photographer." "This is ridiculous," Diana sputtered. "James will never allow." "James signed the permission forms for the museum himself," I interrupted, 3 weeks ago, right after your first attempt to access my party planning account. Did you really think I wouldn't have safeguards in place? That I wouldn't protect my daughter?" I hung up before they could respond, turning to find Emily beaming at me. "Mom, I finished sorting the party favors. Do you think my friends will like doing real experiments?" "They'll love them, sweetie," I assured her, pulling her into a hug. "Your party is going to be perfect." My phone started buzzing with texts from James's family, accusations, demands, guilt trips. I silenced it without reading them. They'd underestimated me for the last time, assuming I'd roll over and let them hurt my daughter again. But I'd learned from their previous schemes, documented every attempt to push Emily aside, and built relationships with exactly the right people. Tomorrow, they'd learn exactly what happened when you pushed a mother too far. The party Emily was getting wouldn't just be a celebration. It would be a statement. And the Anderson family's carefully curated image was about to get a very public makeover. I looked at my daughter, happily arranging her science-themed decorations, completely unaware of the storm brewing in her father's family. She deserved this moment, this celebration of everything she was and everything she could become. For once, she would be the center of attention, her achievements recognized and celebrated. And if Marcus's law firm partners happened to learn some uncomfortable truths about the Anderson family's treatment of their young science prodigy, well, that was just the cherry on top of the birthday cake. The Natural Science Museum was transformed. Interactive experiment stations dotted the main hall, each one carefully designed to showcase both science and wonder. Emily stood at the entrance in her party dress and lab coat, greeting her guests with infectious enthusiasm. Every time the doors opened, her eyes lit up with pure joy. Mrs. Anderson. A tall man in an expensive suit approached me. I'm Richard Peterson, managing partner at Hamilton and Brooks, Marcus's firm. He smiled warmly. Your daughter's science fair project caught my attention. Environmental corporate responsibility isn't just impressive for a 10-year-old. It's exactly what our firm's been focusing on. Before I could respond, Diana and Jessica burst through the doors, with James trailing behind them, looking uncomfortable. My mother-in-law's face was red with barely contained rage. What is the meaning of this? Diana hissed, grabbing my arm. Marcus's colleagues are supposed to be at his party. Mrs. Anderson. Richard called out cheerfully. Your granddaughter's party is remarkable. I had no idea your family was so invested in science education. Diana's grip loosened as she forced a smile. Oh well, yes of course Though I must say, Richard continued, I'm confused about the competing event. Marcus mentioned a promotion party, but surely the firm would have been informed. We take partnership announcements very seriously. Jessica's smug expression faltered. Marcus is being made junior partner. It's practically confirmed. Richard's eyebrows rose. Is that so? Because partnership decisions won't be made for another 3 months, and unauthorized announcements are. He paused meaningfully, strongly discouraged. I watched the color drain from their faces as they realized the magnitude of their mistake. Not only had they failed to cancel Emily's party, but they'd also potentially jeopardized Marcus's career with their presumption. Look what my mom helped me set up. Emily's voice rang out as she demonstrated a chemical reaction to a group of fascinated adults. This shows how companies can test for water pollution. Extraordinary, commented an elegant woman who had joined our group. I'm Catherine Wells from the Governor's Science Education Initiative. We've been looking for young ambassadors for our new program. Who's been supporting her studies? That would be Olivia. James spoke up suddenly, his voice firm. She's been taking Emily to science clubs, helping with experiments. The whole family's very proud. I turned to stare at my husband, surprised by his unexpected support. He met my eyes, and for the first time in years, I saw a glimmer of the man I'd married, the one who'd once promised to always put our daughter first. Diana tried to salvage the situation. We've all contributed to Margaret's. Emily, James corrected sharply. Her name is Emily. The photographer from the local paper was circulating, capturing images of Emily's experiments and the impressed faces of Marcus's law firm colleagues. Each flash felt like another crack in the Anderson family's perfect facade. Mrs. Anderson. Richard addressed Diana again. I hope we'll see Emily at the firm's family science fair next month. We're always looking to nurture young talent. He turned to me. And Olivia, I'd love to discuss your daughter's project in more detail. Our environmental law division could learn something from her research. Diana and Jessica stood frozen, watching their carefully constructed plans crumble. The promotion party they tried to force through had backfired spectacularly, turning instead into a showcase of Emily's achievements. James stepped closer to me, speaking quietly. I should have stood up to them sooner. I'm sorry. It's not me you need to apologize to, I replied, watching Emily demonstrate another experiment. He nodded, understanding. I know, and I will. Things are going to be different. As the party continued, it became clear that Emily wasn't just the center of attention, she was a star. Her genuine enthusiasm for science, combined with her ability to explain complex concepts simply, had charmed everyone. The museum's director had already asked about hosting her next project. Diana made one last attempt to regain control. Well, this has been lovely, but we should discuss Marcus's celebration. Oh, that won't be necessary, Richard interjected smoothly. Given the circumstances, I think it's best to wait until partnership decisions are actually made. Though I must say, unauthorized announcements don't reflect well on candidates. Jessica's face crumpled as she realized the implications. Marcus's premature promotion party hadn't just been canceled, it had potentially derailed his chances completely. "Mom," Emily called out, running over with excitement. "Can I show everyone the big experiment now?" I checked my watch and smiled. "Perfect timing, sweetheart." The lights dimmed and Emily, with the help of the museum staff, conducted a spectacular demonstration involving luminescent chemicals and renewable energy. The crowd gasped and applauded, their phones up to record the moment. "This is what real achievement looks like," James said loudly enough for his family to hear. "Not forced celebrations or fake promotions. Just pure talent and hard work." Diana, Jessica, and Marcus's carefully maintained image of family success had been replaced by something authentic, a young girl's genuine passion for science and the recognition she deserved. As Emily blew out her candles, surrounded by admirers both young and old, I caught Diana's eye across the room. She looked away first, perhaps finally understanding that her days of controlling and diminishing our family were over. The party wasn't just a celebration of Emily's 10th birthday. It was a declaration of independence from the Anderson family's manipulations. And judging by the business cards being pressed into my hands by impressed professionals, it was just the beginning of Emily's rise and her grandmother's fall from grace. The fallout from Emily's birthday party was swift and far-reaching. Within a week, Marcus was called into a partners' meeting at his law firm to explain his premature promotion announcement. Diana's carefully cultivated social media image of the perfect family matriarch crumbled as videos of Emily's science demonstration went viral, with comments questioning why such a talented child had been deliberately excluded from family events. I sat in my home office, reviewing emails from the governor's science education initiative about Emily's new role as a youth ambassador when James walked in looking troubled. "Marcus didn't make partner," he said quietly. The firm felt his judgment was questionable after the party incident. "Mom's not taking it well." "I can imagine," I replied, remembering Diana's countless social media posts about her son's inevitable success. "How's Marcus handling it?" "He moved back home. Jessica too. They're blaming us for ruining everything." James ran a hand through his hair. "Though Mom's latest theory is that you orchestrated this whole thing from the start." I couldn't help but laugh. "She gives me too much credit. I didn't orchestrate anything. I just stopped letting them hurt our daughter." My phone buzzed with another message from Catherine Wells about Emily's upcoming presentation at the State Science Conference. The same conference where, last year, Diana had told Emily to stop showing off when she tried to explain her project to family members. "They want to see you," James continued, "to discuss the situation, as Mom puts it." I closed my laptop and turned to face my husband. "No, I'm done with their family meetings and manipulations. If they want to see Emily, they can start by learning her name and showing genuine interest in her achievements." James nodded, and I saw new resolve in his expression. I told him the same thing. "Mom didn't like it. She threatened to remove us from the family will." "Let me guess. Right after she mentioned Marcus needs financial help after losing the partnership." "Got it in one." He sat down heavily. "I should have seen it sooner. The way they always pushed Emily aside. How they used money to control everyone. I was so used to giving in, I couldn't see what it was doing to our daughter." A knock at the door interrupted us. Emily bounded in, clutching a letter. "Mom. Dad. The Science Museum wants me to help design their new children's program. Can we celebrate?" James swept her up in a hug. "Of course we can, sweetheart. I'm so proud of you. Can we invite Grandma and Aunt Jessica?" Emily asked innocently. "Maybe they'd like to learn about science too." I exchanged glances with James, seeing the same pain in his eyes. Our daughter was still willing to share her joy with people who had repeatedly rejected her. "How about we invite Dr. Peterson and Mrs. Wells instead?" I suggested. "They've been asking about your next project." Emily's face lit up. "Really? Dr. Peterson said his daughter loves science too. Can she come?" Already making connections, James murmured proudly. "That's my girl." My phone buzzed again, Deanna's name flashing on the screen. I declined the call and blocked the number. Let her sit with the consequences of her actions for once. Later that evening, as Emily showed us her plans for the museum program, my email pinged with a message from Jessica. The subject line read, "You've ruined this family." I opened it, ready for more accusations, but what I found was different. "Marcus lost everything because of you. Mom's a mess. The country club is whispering about us. Happy now? You and your precious little scientist have destroyed our family's reputation. I hope you know this isn't over." I forwarded the email to my lawyer without replying. They still didn't understand, or didn't want to understand, that they had done this to themselves. Their actions at Emily's birthday party had simply revealed their true nature to the world. "Mom," Emily's voice pulled me back to the present. "Can you help me with this part of the presentation?" "Of course, sweetie." I joined her at the table, watching as she confidently explained complex scientific concepts. My daughter wasn't just surviving despite her father's family's attempts to diminish her, she was thriving. A week later, the local paper ran a feature on Emily's new role at the museum. The comments section filled with praise for her intelligence and poise. One comment stood out: "Watching this young scientist explain environmental responsibility to adults twice her age was inspiring. The Anderson family must be so proud." Diana had always cared about public image above all else. Now her family's name was associated with Emily's success they had tried to prevent. It was a sweeter revenge than anything I could have planned. James hung the article in his office, right next to Emily's science fair ribbons. When his mother called to complain, he finally said what he should have said years ago. "My daughter deserves better than what this family has given her. If you can't support her success, you don't need to be part of it." Emily's next birthday would be different, not because of elaborate revenge plans or public celebrations, but because she would be surrounded by people who genuinely celebrated her achievements. And if her grandparents and aunt chose to stay away, well, that would be their loss. Sometimes the best revenge isn't about getting even. It's about rising above and showing everyone exactly what they tried to hold back.